Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, our group will give presentation about integrated pest control in corn plant. First, let me introduce our member, Noviana Kusuma Wardani with star number 107, Sara Vanesya, star number 131, Titin Andriyanti, star number 135, Dena Aisyah, star number 138, and Rinta Sofia, star number 145. Next. Okay, introduction. Corn is the most productive cereal crop in the world. One of the obstacles that cause fluctuation in corn productivity is the attack of herbivorous insect and plant pathogens. Next. Okay, next. Next slide is pest and management of pests in corn plant. Next. The first one is Aterigona sp. Seedling flies are small, their eggs are elongated and lay eggs on the youngest leaf. After 48 hours, the eggs hatch at night and grubs come out of the eggs and then move quickly towards the growing point, which is their main food. Next.
The next one is lalat benih or Aterigona sp. Seedlings of groups pull the shoots of the plants and enter the stems. Fly seeds like young plants between 6 to 9 days after planting to lay their eggs. At a certain depth, these groups usually move back onto the plants after the stems have been scraped off, then come out to prey in the ground. The attack symptom of Aterigona sp is of the maize seed fly itself begins when the imago implants the eggs on the plant. After hatching, the larva will immediately perforate the corn stalk and create a kind of tunnel to the base of the stem or the plant's growing point. This is what will make the plant turn yellow and eventually die. Even though the maize plant is able to recover, its growth will be stunted and cannot be optimal. The symptoms of an attack that arise are there is a wound on the leaves, bite marks, usually nesting young leaves or newly germinating leaves. Then the second one is leaflets look wilted, dry, and rot. And then the last is the growth of the maize crop is disturbed and is usually smaller than normal size.
Control technique. Biological control of the attack of seed flies in carried out using parasites such as parasitoid trichogramma that can push egg while from chemical control can use insecticide applied to seed or seed treatment before planting. And next, pest control in corn plant. Number 1, planting timing. Number 2, good plant cycle. And number 3, simultaneous planting. And number 4, spraying insecticide mainly at the beginning of growth. And the last, treatment of seed with insecticide applied to seed or seed treatment before planting active thiodicarb or carbofuran. And next. Number 2, soil caterpillar or Acrotis epsilon. The epsilon acrotis moth lays in its egg one by one in row or in thick building soon. One of the leaves survive on the part of the plant that is close to the surface soil. A female moth can be lay 1,800 eggs. Egg stage 6 until 7 days. Larva youngs are photosynthesis, while the older larvae are eutasic, so that on during the day in the grow and reappear for dinner. One crating can last for until 6 weeks. And next,
The next slide is soil caterpillar. This pest can be controlled using biological insecticide from bacterial groups such as Bacillus thuringiensis or biological insecticide of the fungal group such as Beauveria bassiana. The number 2 is biological. The number 3 is chemically, and the last is spraying insecticide made from active Prevenophos, chlorpyrifos, cypermethrin, beta-cyflutrin, or lambda-cyhalothrin. Next, the number 3 is timberer or Ostrina furnasalis Juin. This pest attack at all stages of growth of the maize plant, with some of the attack can be seen on the leaf, stem, flower, and also the cobs. The result is that the male stem and flower break easily. The male flower peels are the make, and the corn cob are the make. The peak of the egg laying occurs at the male flower, the main stage until the male flower comes out. Next. The next slide is pest management in corn plant. Integrate control to control this pest required appropriate integrate action because the attack fluctuates from time to time. A good planting time is at the beginning of the rainy season and no later than 4 weeks after the start of the rainy season. Cutting some male flowers, that is 4 rows of 6 rows of plant, is also a way to suppress attack.
The next is assignments. The use of natural enemies can also be done to control attacks. Some natural enemies that can be used are parasitoid Trichogramma sp, capable of grade X, bacteria Bacillus thuringiensis courstaki to control larva, and predators Juborrelia annulata, capable of preying on larva and pupa of this pest. Chemical control can use insecticides made from active triazophos such as Raiden 200 EC and carbosulfans such as metric 200 EC are effective enough to suppress the attack of this pest. Next. The conclusion is examples of pests on corn plant seed. Examples of pests on corn plant are seed fly, caterpillars, and stem borer. Next. That's all from us. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.